So hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Mediation Works. I'm Wendy Lakusta, and I'm here with my colleague, Sharon Sutherland. And in this series, we're doing episodes on happy brain chemicals. And today we're going to focus on the release of endorphins mainly. And we're really pleased to have some, what we call our happiness experts here with us as special guests. I'd like to introduce Marc Lieberman. Marc, could you just introduce yourself a bit?
Hello, everybody. My name is Marc Lieberman. I'm the president and founder of Mink Chocolates, a Vancouver-based chocolate company since 2007.
Thanks. And we also have with us Rachelle Horvath. Rachelle, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Rachelle Horvath, and I'm the owner and operator of Horvath's Herbs in Friendship Garden. I am a spiritual healer, or in some cases, people would call me a quantum healer, due to the realms that I work in. And I also have a column that is in our local newspaper, the Shuswap Kicker.
Thank you. So we'll start first with Marc, because Marc, with you being involved with chocolate, we're sure that most people will probably immediately know why we associate you with happiness. So can we start off first, can you just very briefly explain what a chocolatier is or does?
Sure. A chocolatier is somebody that understands the chemistry in the preparation and manufacture of the raw cacao into a finished product, something that is tasty and flavorful and combines all the elements that you would look for in fine quality chocolate.
Okay. And so knowing stuff about chemical process, is this something where the chemistry around the way chocolate affects the brain is something that chocolatiers are taking into account and thinking through?
I would say that most chocolatiers are first tasked with using the finest ingredients to make the best tasting chocolate they can. But I think everybody in the chocolate business understands that high percentage cacao, so 70% dark chocolate or higher, does have antioxidants, has flavonols, and releases endorphins and dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. And these are things that combine to make the experience of eating chocolate very, very pleasurable.
Speaking of pleasure, Marc, we've noticed that people often buy chocolate for special events, and it relates to things like romance and comfort. So what do you think creates that connection?
There's no question that we get a warm, fuzzy feeling when we consume chocolate. And I think it starts at a very young age, whether you were the child with your hand in the baking drawer, whether your mother, grandmother gave you chocolate as an incentive or as a treat. And historically, it's always also been considered a bit of an aphrodisiac as well. But in terms of gift giving, I think if you want to endear yourself to somebody and express a token of your appreciation or gratitude, nothing really says it quite like chocolate.
So Marc, before we kind of move on to talking to Rachelle a little bit, is there anything else that you want to make sure that people know about that connection between chocolate and happiness?
Absolutely. Like anything in life, everything in moderation. I think people need to also realize that chocolate is a candy. And if you are consuming dark chocolate, a higher cacao percentage chocolate, that is where you're going to get the benefits. The endorphin release, that rush of good feeling, as opposed to things that are considered more of a candy item.
So Rachelle, you're involved in a lot of practices that are related to releasing endorphins and creating happiness. meditation, you do different kinds of body energy work. And before we started filming, you did mention that the use of cacao, that you use cacao in a lot of your energy work. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Most definitely. So smell brings forward our memories from our past. And so they're speaking of chocolate. We can think of so many things that bring that forward, right? Smell a hot chocolate when you're camping or at grandmother's at Christmas time. We've always bring forward those memories of that chocolate. So those special memories are held within our limbic system. And that is our prehistoric type brain cells. That's where this holds. So that vibration, those energy waves of that smell goes through the body, vibrates it, sends off those endorphins, giving you that euphoric feeling. So in smells, that works with many other things as well. That's how that cacao, that sense brings that forward.
Yeah. Oh, that's fascinating. I know that before we invited you to this, so before we talked to you at all and had any idea, Wendy and I had been kind of doing we've been doing like super Google research kind of thing, like that's our level of scientific knowledge here. So just to be really clear, but we're turning up a bunch of different articles that are always talking about endorphin rush and, go out and exercise. That's how you bring that forward. And so it almost seems counterintuitive as you're kind of looking at, dark chocolate, exercise, sex. Those are the things that are going to trigger endorphins. But if you go down the list, there's this meditation piece. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to invite you and talk about it, because it feels interesting. It's like why is that something that helps and brings similar chemistry to the brain?
So when you're inside that meditative state, we bring ourselves down to a very low hertz. We're in a sleep mode almost. We're gone off into the subconscious. There we're able to bring in, and we don't have that conscious mind stopping us. Our imagination brings in frequencies for us. So if you think of a dream even, you get euphoric feelings through dreams. You've got color going on, you have smells going on. These things are bringing forward that energy. It rattles the cells, the fibers, which send off those endorphins. So when you're sleeping in a meditative state, you're able to bring those forward. Often you have the music playing, and those musics play. So our body, we don't realize our body is in its being. So we talk about mind, body, spirit. So it has all these things. It feels these things. We tuned out. We're not aware of to what's actually going on in our bodies.
So when you're meditating, does a mantra play a part of that?
Very much
for the vibration. So the sound and that constant repetitive. You're using right side, left side of the brain, bringing in the information. Even if you do a hum right now, you can feel it in your chest. You'll feel that energy moving through. It's a vibration that gets those cells moving. So we have to have that movement in order to release a lot of the energy that holds into our cells, emotion. Right. And speaking of the vibration, you've published a series of articles locally talking about the vibration work in your body work and that type of thing. Do you want to talk a bit more about that?
So I do many different things, and that's enabling you to make contact, to reestablish a relationship with the body, so that you're bringing in these different energies so that you're able to release and smell. So many different places the Bach flower remedy, when you bring in essence, you're able to ignite and bring yourself calming. If you smell lemon, if you think of the smell of lemon, it's bright, and it does. If you're feeling foggy at work, have a smell of lemon, or even think of lemon. Bring in the color yellow. You'll notice how it changes how you're feeling that vibration. So that brings up the happy. Wearing colors, having colors around you displayed bringing in a scent at work. Doesn't have to be much. A lot of people, you'll find little, we used to, as kids, we had little Vicks smelly things for when you had a cold. And now you'll find them, and they're of every scent and every different type of essence. So I always say, be careful what you're buying. Make sure you're buying something that's of good quality. And then use these scents. Bring that up. Using color. So years and years ago, I used blue colored dots. Every time I seen a blue dot, I would have to take a breath, because I would hold my breath. And losing frequency when you're holding your breath, you're keeping it all in. So when I see a blue dot, I would breathe. After many years, I opened up a case and I found an old wallet, and here was the blue dot, and I actually just took a big breath. So it triggers, right? The color. After that, you'll notice you're doing things because of it, and it opens up those channels so the endorphins can move.
So it's really obvious listening to the two of you that there are a lot of different possibilities here in terms of just actually consciously going out and finding ways to bring a little bit more joy into our own world, into actually helping ourselves feel these kinds of things and train ourselves to respond to them. Both of you kind of talk about those memory pieces, the connections, the associations, and just the sheer release of chemical as a way of engaging. And I just think that's fascinating. And I'm really looking forward to, I'm looking forward to leaving here and definitely having a hot chocolate, definitely visiting Ming, definitely reading Rachelle's article, which I haven't picked up yet. And for those people joining us, we are including links to both of those, to both of their businesses, also to the Hot Chocolate Festival, because I can't not make sure that people know about that, and to Rachelle's article, which I think is going to be a really good way to engage. And she's got some other information there on her website around other ways to engage in a happiness practice, because that's what we're really talking about here today, is let's actually be happy. All right. Well, thank you all so much. Really appreciate you joining us.
Thank you. It was an
Thank
honor.
you very much. It was wonderful.